Hey guys, welcome to another Q&A session from the Reaper blog. The YouTube channel has just passed 7,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. It's so cool to have so many people watching my videos and commenting, sharing them and recommending them to people. It's really, really awesome. Thank you guys, keep it up. Robert asks, would you do a subscription service to support the site? I've considered doing a Patreon campaign a few times in the past. I have some friends that are doing it successfully and some that are not successful with it. I think I have a large enough audience that it could work, but I'm not sure. And I don't know if the extra effort there is going to be worth what I get in return, because it's a lot of time and energy taken away from creating content. Leave a comment below if you would subscribe and pay me $2 to $5 a month to keep making videos the way that I normally do, as often as I can. If enough of you guys say that you will, then I'll set up Patreon and we'll get a campaign going, and I'll try to do some extra cool stuff for you guys. But in the meantime, I have a tip jar on the website. You can support me that way. You can buy one of my courses, or you can look at the recommended courses page, and that links to some of my friends' courses, and they give me a piece of that. Next question's from Steve. I'm thinking of moving from Cubase, but feel lost with Reaper, especially with audio editing. Where should I start? Well, I have something like 200 videos now, so I cover a lot of ground with that stuff. Quick recommendations off the top of my head would be checking out the free mixing course that I have. There's editing in that mixing video as well. My podcast editing tutorial would also show you the workflow of working with audio, how I organize things, how I quickly edit, trimming, that kind of stuff. It's a little different from working with guitar and bass tracks, but I think some of the techniques there, getting comfortable with working, are still there. Customize things to make it comfortable, the way that you navigate the session, the way that zooming and scrolling works, and the keyboard shortcuts for your editing tools. Reaper doesn't really use editing tools like Cubase where you have to switch to do each task. Everything is where the mouse is positioned over the audio, and then you press the key. So that's a little different, but ultimately it's a lot faster. Danny asks, which control surfaces work best with Reaper? I've been eyeing the X-Touch. So I've been really happy with the Behringer BCF 2000. This thing is great for what I need it for. I use it with the Mackie control mode. I get faders, I get panning, I get track selection and mute. I have a video on how to use that. Click here, I guess. But I've heard good things about the X-Touch. I've never used one myself. It's a little out of my price range, especially because at some point I want to have like 3 controllers. No matter what control surface you get, getting 3 of them is pretty expensive. One thing I know about the X-Touch series, the regular X-Touch, it only does Huey and Mackie control, and it works as a control surface, but you can't customize it at all. The compact version works with MIDI, so you can map every single button and knob on there to do whatever you want. So the compact would be great if you want a custom controller for working with plugins or something like that. Tiki asks, how do you mix when you're burnt out and there's no money involved? Well, it sounds like they're forcing a deadline on you as well, which is always the worst thing for burnout and creativity. If you're feeling burnt out, you absolutely need to take a break. It's forcing yourself through it is just not going to work. You can't get free, good, and fast all at once. It just doesn't work. If they want a good mix from you, then they need to give you time. And if you're feeling burnt out, the only thing that fixes that is time, some time away, work on something else, do something else that's creative. Hopefully you have some hobbies outside of audio that can kind of reset your brain. On the subject of burnout, there was an awesome episode of Beards, Cats, and Indie Game Audio podcast that you need to check out. There are a lot of great tips, stories, and advice in there. Please check out that podcast. It's from some friends of mine, and they do a really cool show. Robert asks, what do you do with all the video files after you're done making the tutorials? Lately, I've been really lazy with it. Normally, I move the finished videos into another drive. The entire recording drive that I use is backed up to my network drive. There's a separate partition just for backing up the finished videos to there. I don't often go back to these videos, but just in case like YouTube deletes something, or I don't know what, but I might need some footage from something at a later date and I back it up. It's not optimal. What I really want to do is get separate drives, like a really fast drive just for editing on, then have a couple drives for storage, short-term and long-term. That's a lot of money and time to set all that stuff up the right way, and I just don't have the patience for it anymore. And that's it for this edition of the Reaper Blog Q&A. Thank you guys so much for watching. Send in your questions for the next one. You can follow the Reaper Blog on Facebook and Twitter, and on the website there are articles and videos from other contributors and from around the internet. A lot of this stuff doesn't end up on YouTube, so don't forget about the Reaper Blog at reaperblog.net. Thanks a lot, guys. See ya.